Hey guys, Pete Peppers here, and we're going to talk about. This is a long overdue video. I originally didn't make one about this because the specials work the same in jelly as they do in soda, but since this is, jelly has become so popular, I figure there's enough players who might not know when they start out playing it. So we're going to talk about specials and combos. And right there, I just made a striped candy. That happens when you mix 4 candies together. All right, so like right above where I just made the wrapped, you can see that I can move that orange one down and I make a stripe. Thing to notice about stripes is whatever direction you move the candy is whatever the stripes go. They're either horizontal or vertical. And that's one of the first combos, and it's an oldie but a goodie. The stripe plus the wrapped is takes out 3 rows at a time instead of just the single row, which is what the striped candy does. So there's another striped. And the wrapped is, you make that with an L shape or a T shape. Wrapped candy blows up. Here's a fish also. You do that by making a square of 4. The wrapped candy will blow up a 3x3 square. Striped candy will hit a row, like I said, either vertical or horizontal, depending. And the fish will swim off, and it'll hit one of the other big, it could hit a lot of different things. There you can see how we got the 3x3 square cleared out by using the wrapped. Sweet. I have a fish video that goes into more detail about what they do on the different kinds of boards and a guide, so I'll put a link to that in this video here. And this is something, whenever you make a special match with the special, it fires it off and leaves one behind. So I made a square with 4 yellows. One of them was a fish, so the fish got fired off and there was a fish left behind. We'll try to set up a few more things, and then I have I'm just playing around a little bit now. You can make a striped here. You can match that with the fish, and the fish will swim off and hit one of the squares, and it takes on the properties of both. Another fish, red square. If we match these 2 stripes together, then it'll go vertical and horizontal at the same time. If we moved it down, it would go across the bottom. If we move it up, it'll hit that licorice coil and set off the fish to its left. And you see that the fish went off and it hit one of the coils, because that's one of the blockers on this board. 2 fish together sends off 3. You see 3 swim away and hit coils for us. Make a stripe. This will set off this stripe, then you'll have one left behind. So the basics. Here's another wrap. To see how that's an L shape. If I move that together, it would become a wrapped, and it will also set off that stripe. So there are some, like I said, I've written about this and have other videos about this in soda. The basic specials definitely changed, but they are the same. They're a little bit different in the original saga, but they're the same in soda and jelly. Color bombs do different things. They're basically the same, but they do a little bit different things in combos. Wraps do a little bit different in combos. The stripe plus wrap is still the same as it is in the original, but the thing with specials, especially in spread the jam levels and levels with a lot of blockers and things, a lot of times you're not going to be able to finish unless you don't get together some combos. They can do so much more, so much faster. So you really need to learn what happens when you mix them together. And like I said, we'll get into that. Bomb combos are the best. But like I said, even the very simple original stripe plus wrapped is still a pretty good one. Here we can make a color bomb. It is when you match 5 together. You can see we have 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom of orange, and we move this other orange over and we're going to get a color bomb. If you set a color bomb off by itself, what happens is it'll take off that entire color. That's where the name Color Bomb comes from. And here we're going to make ourselves a coloring candy. And what's different here is that you make it in the same way, except there's one extra of that color connected. So, you know, it could be 6, it could be 7, it could even be 8, but there's our coloring candy. And this was new in soda, but in jelly it's the same. So I'm going to match this. We're going to show the first combo here, and I'm going to talk about some of the differences between the Color Bomb and the coloring candy. The coloring candy, if you use it by itself, it'll just change one color, but if we make it into a combo, it's kind of like twice as strong, because unlike the Color Bomb, which doesn't have a color, a coloring candy does. So if we match this yellow coloring candy with this red fish, all the red candies will turn into fish, but also all the yellows will. And one thing you might not notice in the beginning when you first start using them is that, like, say if I used the coloring bomb to hit the red, it would turn all the red into fish and they would all go off one by one. But watch here, see how there's like 2 waves that come together when you use coloring candy? It's sort of like the yellow ones fire off and then the red ones fire off. They can actually hit more blockers and things because of that. Like, they could hit the same one over and over. Like, if you know, if you were playing you know, in soda, for example, if you were playing a honey level, you know they're going to go where the bears are, so you could actually get 2 hits on each bear with the coloring candy fish instead of just one with the Color Bomb fish. So whenever you're playing different levels, different level types, you know, you just kind of want to think about what's the combos do, and then what would be the best one for that particular situation. Color bombs or coloring candies plus wraps are great to clear out huge faces across the board. Striped plus the color bomb is sort of the same thing. It's going to just send off a bunch of striped candies everywhere. If you have it with the coloring candy, here we'll go ahead, I think, and make this color bomb, and you see every red candy on the board turns into a color bomb, and you can see that's extra helpful in the jelly one because it actually spreads the jelly as it goes around. So, you know, they would have never been able to cover that much of it in just one shot before. So here's some different ones. This is a color bomb plus a striped. See, all the red, I matched it with red, so all the red candies turn into a striped candy, spread out all across the board. This is another example of the color bomb plus the wrapped. It's going to fire, turn them all into color bombs, and you see how they drop down? They blow up twice. So that's obviously a lot of clearing power with that. Here's a fish plus the color bomb, and look how it's a little bit different because there's no color, so just the red ones will turn into fish, and they all sort of go off and go just at, you know, one particular square apiece. Here's a color bomb plus a color bomb. This is this has a different effect. In regular Candy Crush, it would come out and it would sort of clear things off one by one. And here we get a big explosion. It kind of clears the board. Watch our coils all disappear, and every piece on the board gets cleared out. So if you had blockers, it would take one layer off of every blocker on the board. And you see on the jelly there, it didn't spread it. If we had jelly up in the top, like above where the explosion was, then it sort of would have spread it in that direction, like towards the corner, like that. We'll try to get some, let's get some coloring candy combos now. So a coloring candy by itself, it'll change a color. It's not always really effective to use, but not as a combo, but it can be in some situations. So here, we could match an orange with a green, that would turn all the green orange, or we can match green with a green. And what that does is it takes out the color that is sort of the most effective. Now watch, we'll change them all back, all the green ones back to orange when we match the orange one with it. So that's the basic thing. You can see there, that worked pretty good to clear out the bottom of the board just because we had a lot of stuff matching and cascading and things. But it gets a lot better, sort of like when we saw it with the fish earlier, it gets a lot better when you use it in a combo. One of the things when you're making specials and combos that you want to think about is one of the mistakes I can make from time to time is trying to hold on to them too long and set up a combo, because you always want to check and think about how many moves you have before you decide how you're going to use them, because if you don't use them in a timely fashion, then you're going to end up running out of moves before you get the effect. So you're going to want to take some time and weigh the thing, weigh your choices. So here's just another example. We can make a special with the special, and it fired it off, changed one color over, and we still have our color bomb left behind. Here's another example with the striped and the coloring candy. This will, if this was like yellow, then it would turn all the yellow and green, but since it's green and green, it's going to change the green plus one other color. And you see that we get stripes all over the place. You can see how much of the board that cleared out just like that. So it's always a good thing to get. Here is the coloring candy plus the color bomb. Some people would say this is the best. I think it's up there as one of the best combos. It is slightly different than two color bombs. It does the same thing. You get Jenny flying across. So it clears, and it has a big explosion, clears the board, but it actually takes two layers off of blockers. So it's twice as powerful. It clears things out twice as fast. I think I'll put another color bomb plus color bomb. Yeah, right here. Look at the ice here. The ice has, some of it has two layers, some of it has one. When I explode this, it'll take one layer off. So you'll see that all the stuff that was double had one left behind. If that had been a coloring candy plus a color bomb, it would have cleared the whole board and we would have finished the level right there. So here's one we missed earlier. It's a wrapped plus a wrapped. And like I mentioned, a regular match candy or wrapped candy clears out a 3x3 square. When we match two wraps together, it clears out a 5x5 square. So it'll even hit the stuff that's past those holes over there, which a regular one wouldn't have. And it also set off the coloring candies that were nearby.
Divine.
And here is the coloring candy plus the coloring candy. It's sort of the most elusive. It doesn't matter which two colors you have. What it does is it turns all the candy pieces on the board the same color, which also will often make a bunch of other cool combos as it matches together. See that? So you have a big cascade that's all filled with specials, and it clears out a ton of the board. And depending on what you're doing, it could be the most effective one. You just have to figure it out based on like what else is happening on the board or whatever. So, and like I said, I'll put some links in this video up in with cards where you can watch some of the the original video I made about the soda ones, and I'll link you to where my guides are and how I have a table what all the combos produce, and I also have for the newer ones I have like a guide that explains how to use it, which I guess would be a good read, especially if you're new, but even if you've been playing for a while, there might be some things in there that you hadn't realized in the past. So hope this gives you a pretty comprehensive look at what is what in as far as specials. by now I'm guessing that you realize how important they can be. So try to make them when you can. Try to plan out like what's going to be the best for your level. I hope this was helpful, and if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them in the comments. Make sure you like it and subscribe to our video so that more people will find this content, and let me know what other videos you'd like to see in the future. I like to make how to play. I kind of left this one out just because of the fact, like I said, that the soda stuff was the same. But I'm getting ready to add some new guides and things, some how to play guides for Jelly Saga on my website, candycrushsodasagatips.com. So I wanted to make this video to paste it there. So I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for the subscription and the likes. Have a good one.
Sugar Crush.